Okay, back with my best cooking buddy, Johnny Phillips from Bubba and Cuppy, and he's going to show us another pasta dish. So I'm going to let you get on with it, Johnny, and take us through the whole dish from scratch. Where you go?
Yep. So this dish is really, you'll see here, this can be made no matter, once you've got your pasta dough ready, this can be made no matter about 10 to 12 minutes. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to do a sort of New World pasta, it's called. It's a caramelle pasta. So it's basically we we get sheets of pasta nice and thin, we cut them into sort of nice wee sort of about 3 by 3 inch sort of squares, and then we're going to pipe in a lovely filling.
So New World pasta.
Yeah, so not classic.
Cool.
Italians are funny because there's some of these pastas in their embrace.
I have never heard that before.
So it's one of the sort of ones that's been created over the pasta.
Yeah, and they've accepted this one.
Yeah,
Is that the way it works?
You wouldn't see it in like your wee classic tutorials or anything like that.
You're going to see it maybe in a
finer down restaurant.
Maybe Western Star guy.
So at the minute, so what we'll do is we'll get this cut, we'll get it made into sheets, and then after that we can cut. You want to allow it a wee minute or two as a sheet before you cut it to get a perfect cut on. So you'll see here, so same process as before. We're going to go.
We're using the same egg pasta?
Yeah, so same recipe again. You can make, these pastas can be made quite well with a pasta without egg, but just for that wee bit extra luxury sort of these type of dishes, I do like a wee bit of egg on my pasta. It's the same process. We're just going to go through the machine here. On that, this is the highest setting, so this is the setting that basically the two blades here are as far apart as possible.
Okay.
You don't want to start by working the pasta too heavily.
Start on 0.
Yep, on 0 on this machine. Yep. I was saying earlier, it's sort of some machines that'll start on 10. It just depends on what sort of brand of machine.
The way it works.
Yeah.
So I do find them Smeg machines really.
Oh, they're lovely. It's great. Yeah.
They're a lovely machine.
Yeah.
And they're Italian.
Yeah.
So they kind of know the
nice bit of style about them too. So we're going to go through about 3 times here, just to we're about 15 inches, and then what we're going to do is what we call a book fold. Yeah. Really important step, this, if not the most important step in making a good pasta dough. You'll see I'm sort of trying to line it up. I want this to become part of it, kind of like when you're making a croissant almost, where you want to see
strengthens the dough, doesn't it?
Yeah, and so that's it. Basically, we're going to get the shape to begin with for the machine. It's going to go through a nice sort of shape there, and you'll see as well. So we're going this way. We're going to now turn, and we're going to bring it through this way. That's just sort of strengthens all the gluten. Gluten's one of the things that kind of wraps around itself, and that's what gives it the strength. And without that, obviously, when we go to shape or cut, it's going to distort the shape and stuff.
When I'm teaching the old bread classes and tell people about gluten, how it works,
super important.
And it kind of locks in each other like that. And the more it gets work, the tighter it gets. So it's kind of pasta and bread making
very similar.
Is you can beat the life out of the gluten if you want.
Yep.
But anything else, take it nice and light.
Yeah.
But definitely when we're doing pasta or bread.
So through again, so we're still on the sort of lowest setting here at the minute. You'll see here it's sort of getting that nice shape.
Yeah.
And as I say, you don't want to work it too heavily, too quick. So we're going to go down in increments of 1. Most of these machines will have like a setting 1 to 7 or 1 to 10. With this one, we're not going to want to go to the finest setting because it'll be wafer thin. It'll be quite hard to sort of work
That's more, Johnny, for your really fine raviolis and stuff like that.
Yeah, or for somebody it's been sort of like a professional sort of chef would sort of work on them levels, but at home you get away sort of like 2/3 into the machine sort of settings. And you'll see here, I'll just make this, at home you could sort of, if you've got a big counter to play with, we don't want to go near this heat over the cooker, so I'm just going to cut this at this stage, but at home you can go bigger.
We can jump to there fast,
Yeah, so we'll just cut it down into manageable sort of sizes here.
Okay.
And again, where we've cut that sort of straight, we want that to go into the machine. We just want this as straight as possible, so we're not getting in on the angle or anything, and we're not letting big clumps of it fall.
Straight, yeah.
Nice and gentle. This is a trick to good pasta, is being gentle and sort of treating it with a bit of care. So we can go down again.
Treat it with love, Johnny, isn't that right?
This is it. All food applies to all food.
Yeah.
So that lovely shape, this machine's fantastic actually. You can really see the shape there. It's sort of really nice sort of narrow lines there. That's a good sign. That'll make your pasta look really pretty when you go to sort of cook it and cut it.
Yes, Meg do take their stuff really serious when they're making pieces.
So we're down again here. So we're at setting number 5. We started on 0.
I've actually been the with Smeg, Johnny.
Brilliant.
They flew me over.
Lovely.
It was brilliant. All I done was eat Italian food and drink for 4 days.
And these machines, the stuff you can do in these machines is unbelievable.
I know.
The attachments that you can buy them. So
sausage and all, you can do your ground sausage.
So again here guys, we're just going to trim up here. We're going to go about half that. And I'm just going to tidy this wee one up because these ends, these are actually no good for what I'm going to be using them for. I want them all nice and straight, so I'm going to do these in nice wee squares.
Beautiful.
So we're not far off there. We're starting to see my hand. It's like the tagliatelle. I would have been happy with the texture of that.
I can see your hand running through there.
With this one, I want a wee bit more fine, just a tiny bit more. So we'll go down one more setting. This is number 7. And I think this is going to be perfect for us. Yeah.
That you?
Yep, that's going to be perfect. Yeah. So we'll set this one aside, this wee sheet now. Good to go with that one, and we're going to work our other one. It's very warm now. So only need the 2 sheets for this. So,
Do you want me to hit a bit of flour on top of it?
yeah, just rubbing both
Very
sides.
warm
of
here,
it.
Tommy.
It is very warm. Nightmare for pasta.
So what I'm doing here is I'm adding a wee bit of flour over the top just to stop it from drying out.
Just discussing here as well. So at the
heat
minute
in place.
where we are, it's quite warm. If you're making this at home, you want to open the window or turn your canopy fan on to sort of circulate a bit of cool air if possible. It's sort of the importance, as I was saying earlier when we were making the pasta, the importance of sort of using cold water in this process as well. If you are making pasta dough, just to keep everything nice and cold.
So the heat in here is
Very hard, yeah. So it's going to make these tricky to sort of make, but you'll see us making them at our worst maybe, and it'll be a bit more fun for you at home then.
you can laugh at us.
Yeah. Peaches maybe. So again, just as Stephen was saying, we're going to put quite a lot of flour in this. We're just finding this dough
Yes,
getting very
it's rehydrating, dehydrating here.
Yeah. So in the meantime, Stephen, would you mind starting to make me? Are you filling here? So if I talk you through, so
Yeah.
we're going to put half of this ricotta.
Of course.
Just spoon in half. Don't worry about draining it or anything. We don't mind a bit of the moisture in there. That's
I
fine.
like it too.
So you're going to add the ricotta. You're going to put a good pinch, a good handful of the parmesan there.
Okay, buddy.
And then if you can put the zest of half a lemon in there for me, Stephen, please.
Sure.
And a good twist of black pepper. You'll notice there's no salt in this recipe in this because ricotta cheese and parmesan cheese are naturally very salty. So we don't actually need it. So you can always adjust, you can always add a bit of salt afterwards to your dish, but with this one, I don't think you need it.
Lemon and black pepper.
Black pepper,
Classic,
ricotta and
isn't it?
parmesan, real classic. And a good
It really is.
a tiny drizzle of olive oil there just to bring it
Okay.
together, Stephen, please.
It's just one of those flavours that works, lemon and pepper. Black pepper especially.
Just while Stephen's finishing that off, then we'll come back over to the pasta. So the pasta, you kind of want it about the width of your finger, your index finger. I've got sort of medium-sized hands. Obviously, judge that on what size your hands are.
I just want you to look at that,
Yeah.
Johnny. If you
That is perfect. Yep.
Applicable
And if you
for
can
you.
just put that in the piping bag for me, Stephen.
Yeah.
These will make life a lot easier. You can do it with a spoon, but this will just give you a bit more consistency to work with. So I'm just cutting the pasta down to size here. So we're going to go again, fingers width. So we're just going to cut these into nice squares. And discard the trims. You don't really need the trims, obviously. So once these are ready, we'll set these up here. So we'll get our pasta cut here. So it is quite humid here. It's quite tricky. The pasta's a wee bit sticky here, but hopefully at home you'll not have that problem.
so if we could swap the ricotta cheese to goat cheese here, Johnny. Couldn't we?
Well, to be honest, Stephen, any sort of cheese, the only cheese you'd want to avoid would be maybe like a cheddar-y sort of style cheese. Something
Yeah, you need
sort of
something with a bit-
gonna go quite greasy.
bit of moisture in it.
Yep, something a wee bit younger and sort of moister.
Yeah.
Blue cheese, there's a lovely, we actually have a special plan for the restaurant next week. We're going to use Mike's Fancy Cheese, Young
Wow, it's very good.
It's a locally made
Class.
blue cheese. It's got a real mild, creamy flavour, and our customers absolutely love it in the restaurant, so they.
Clanny Boy Estate cows they use the milk from them, don't
Yeah,
they?
stunning. It's a really good product, so it is. And again, we're just promoting locality. Very
I done all right there, Johnny. For you?
That's perfect.
Happy?
Yeah, it's great. And then, so our sheets
Keep
are
it off the
almost
heat.
ready. So we're just finishing the last of these sheets. So again, just
So
coming
I
up here.
can't see you doing this. Did I see you doing this a wee video maybe before? Or
I did. So I done this on my social media the other day. I made a wee reel of it as
I
well.
think I did see you making this.
Yeah, yeah.
Kind of looks like
Shows you how quick it is, right, to put
it's like
together.
a Christmas cracker.
Yeah, that or like an eclair sort of chocolate,
Yeah.
sort of. Yeah.
I love it.
It's a fun shape, so it is. And I think if you're going to
It really is.
or when you want to get the kids into eating these things, you know, it's a bit easier when you make something like a sweetie wrapper. That's
Yeah.
kind of works more. So again, just
Size your
come
finger.
up. So that's us. So what we'll do is we will line these up now, and you'll see these are once these are lined up. This is such a quick process. And don't worry, there's a couple of these about distorted, but you know what? It looks homemade. That's the thing. You can sit with a ruler and rule these out and all if you want, but to be honest, pasta should be a bit more fun than that, I think. So lining these up like this.
You want me to toast your pine nuts for you? You can tell me where I'm at it, or
Just get our pan nice and hot there, Stephen, and we'll bring
Nothing in it? Or
No,
you-
just straight up hot.
Are you going to have the butter and sage
What we're
it
going to do
up?
is we're going to put about a tablespoon of olive oil in there, and that'll give us a bit more control with the butter. So we'll drop that in, and then we'll drop the pine nuts in. Once they start to toast,
And
we'll
hold
drop
back.
our butter and our sage. So kind
I'll
of
hold back until you tell me.
Come to Gary quickly. So at the minute, this is just a bit of egg yolk, and we're just going to seal just the end of this
And I
pasta.
was just going to ask you what are you buying it
So
with?
yep, so you can use in Italy they'd use a lot of water and flour would be the sort of
Yeah, the Asians do that too.
Yeah,
When they're
it's a
doing
wee
their
bit-
spring rolls.
Yeah.
They call it slurry.
Yep.
And it's just it's a mixture of water and it's cheap and cheerful, I suppose.
Well,
But
it's cheaper than
this is probably more
This is a bit-
foolproof.
Yeah, that's what, because the egg will cook and set almost, it kind of makes life a wee bit easier for it.
Yeah.
I just find, especially if the dough's a wee bit sticky already, you don't want to be adding any water as well. So pretty much we'll line these up, you'll see. So, and again, this doesn't look like a lot, but see when these cook, these will flare up a wee bit, they'll sort of get a bit chunkier, and then by the time you put all that sauce on, it is quite a sort of generous feed. So we'll just start it at the middle. You want to do 2/3 of the pasta you want filled. Don't go any further, because when you go to fold this, it'll squeeze out the sides on you. And then what'll happen is when you go to cook it, you'll end up with a lot of like boiled ricotta in your water.
I'm just thinking as we're doing here, Johnny, you can, I mean, this could change the seafood, can you?
Absolutely, I think
Can
so.
you
We
do like a fish mousse in here, could you?
yeah, like a lobster mousse, or
Yeah.
whitefish, or even meat. You know, if you make like a lovely bolognese and you sort of crab, you know, anything also.
Bit of shin, as you say.
Absolutely anything at all, as long as you can blend it down. So at the minute, so what we do is got our film just over nice and gently. Now at this stage, if we were to leave that like that and just press it, it'd be what we call an agnolotti, which is a very classic, well known. So at the minute, so I'm just putting one finger in and just getting a wee squeeze. And again, don't be too anal about this. You know, the purpose is you want this to.
This is what we call our new world pasta, you were saying?
Yep. And then what we do is in the restaurant, we're not going to dry these, but if I was to leave these for 10 minutes to dry, we don't have time to do it today, but we'll put a wee indent there. Especially with seafood, you know, you're sitting there a bit like shellfish.
In there?
Yeah, just in the middle. So if you do like a lovely shellfish cream out of your lobster, it's
gonna sit in there?
It just coats on.
Sauce is just
You
gonna
can
sit
put a wee
in
bit of chives or something as well. So again, just rubbing.
Great pasta to have prepped ready here for service, isn't it?
There's well, actually these as well, see, because they're sort of sealed as well. Any pasta that you seal with the film generally freezes quite well as well. So
Yeah,
you can
freezes
actually,
really well.
you know, if you're having a dinner party and you're worried that you're not going to have the time to sort of.
So can I get this in Copy if I go?
There'll always be a variation of sort of today's one we always do like a wee special this evening.
Next week we're going to do a blue cheese one.
Yeah, so at the minute today, actually, the boys just made a lovely fresh lamb shoulder ragu with like all the flavours of Sicily. So it's like a lot of black pepper, red wine, fennel, rosemary, and it's served very simply with some local spring summer vegetables.
Right, okay.
So you'll find the weekend we always have a pasta special, and then our menu items are a bit more simpler usually, because just with the labour obviously it comes behind making something like that. We're quite busy at the minute, so. And again, just folding. And what you can do with these, I'll show you one here. You can fold, and then there's another. When I made these the other day in the house, I sort of done that, but then I twisted it a wee bit as well.
Oh,
and
yeah.
you'll see whenever you go to see when we're fried it, we're actually going to boil this, and then we're going to fry it in the brown butter. These wee bits at the end here, it's like
crispy.
Cut about like a dumpling. It sort of goes nice and crispy.
Very good.
Gives a bit of texture again. And again,
But there is a debate about pasta, and the debate is that pasta originally came from Japan
yeah,
as a noodle.
I've heard that. Yeah.
And then they say that the Italians then added a bit of an egg to it. Whether that's true or not, but it sounds good.
The Italians won't tell you that, that's for
No.
sure. So at the minute, our pasta's ready, and again, see the way we're leaving this here a wee minute or two just to sort of dry. That's a good thing, so it is.
Yeah.
We want to give it a wee second. You don't want to boil it like immediately. You want that to sort of
Definitely.
first off the pasta. We've rolled it, we've shaped it. You want it to relax a wee bit.
I love this, Johnny.
Again, so at the minute,
Just loving this.
watch how quickly this comes together, Stephen. So it's literally just olive oil in. We're going to go in with our pine nuts. Which are these are lovely. These are a real flavour of sort of southern Italy that you use quite a lot in
As you and I were discussing earlier, the price.
yeah, so they're very, very pricey. All nuts, to be honest, just the world we're living in really now, isn't it? So we'll get them nice and hot. One of these dishes, well, you don't want to start that and then run off and go do an errand, or you know, if there's kids running around, you want to make sure you give yourself a wee bit of time here. So if you just watch here, once the nuts release their oil, that's where all the flavour's going to come from. You know, you can drop them in, get them brown really quickly, but you want them to sort of come up and get that sort of Stephen was discussing earlier about the importance of seeing air pockets and stuff in the oil. That is a good thing because you're getting, first off, you're getting a bit of solids in there, which is obviously a texture of the nut. Flavour them as well, but smell them already, so they're there. So we'll drop in our butter, Stephen. You can drop all that butter in for me.
All of it, yeah?
Yes, please.
Wow, I love it.
A lot of butter.
We're going for it, yeah.
That's great. It's a good thing. It's the sauce.
Oh, I love it.
So butter in. Just sage leaves here. Lovely fresh sage. Really underrated herb that doesn't get used enough outside of Christmas.
That's true.
So in. Quite a lot off it again as well, because this is the main part. And then we're going to boil our pasta. So you can pull that away from the heat now, Stephen. That's going to sit nicely. What'll happen here? So at the minute, you have a bit of leeway here. So what we're looking for, these leaves to get really sort of crispy, and the nuts, we want to bring them a wee bit further than this, about an extra minute.
Okay, lovely.
Yep. And the aromas here are just sage, pine nuts, butter, and then we're going to go in. Once these sage leaves are crispy and the nuts are perfectly browned and the nuts went like a caramel core, we're going to squeeze in half a lemon juice there.
And we're doing our black pepper combination
so last
again?
minute we'll drop in, because the problem is the moment we put the pepper in the minute, it'll burn pretty much. Right. So see that lovely caramelly sort of colour there, and the butter's just foaming really nicely. Again, good quality butter here. You don't want to use any alternatives. And important to use unsalted butter, because salted butter has a lot of solids which will just burn as opposed to
Italians would serve this with veal in it.
Yeah, scallopini.
Scallopini.
Beautiful. And it's lovely with everything, even a bit. I actually quite like it. We're like monkfish as well. Monkfish, pancetta, and a bit of even mushroom in there.
Even as you say, like even a really thin steak.
Yeah, love it.
Cut really thin.
So our pasta, you can kind of see boiling nicely here. You don't want to shake this. If you shake this, because we've got phones and we've a wee sealer, it's not like the tagliatelle you get away with. This one, there's a chance you could rip it pretty much. I'll drop them all in there.
We get
super quick. That's
the thing I kept trying to teach. Keep them back up the stairs teaching Johnny, because that's what I do now. But what I find is
we'll get a lemon juice now. Yeah. So please straight in.
Another one?
Yeah, go ahead now. That's the sound you're looking as well. So look at them lovely sage leaves now. Nuts are lovely browned as well. It's sort of
the colour. You happy with that colour?
Yeah. So putting our wee bit of oil just to slow her down there. It's getting a wee bit pretty heavy. So see, that's again, you can save this. So if they're starting to go a wee bit, I'll bring it over, Stephen. I'll give you a wee bit of pasta water.
Yeah, you have it there.
So I'll get a wee bit.
No more.
Brilliant. So that'll just slow it down now. Lovely. So we're almost ready here. So you've seen how quickly it comes together. Literally pasta ready in about 30 seconds here. Butter's ready. We'll drop the pasta in, and then we'll do a wee bit of black pepper in there and a wee bit of pecorino over the top of the dish just to finish it.
It's not singed. It's okay.
Perfect.
The lemon's fantastic.
Lovely.
So it's lovely. I was getting ready for a wee second for ourselves. We're close.
This is the trouble with induction, and
they're fast, aren't they?
But they're super efficient is the problem. Now, if you're not used to using it, I'm not really used to it.
You're caught out of me, but we're okay. We're good.
So about 20 seconds here and our pasta's ready. You can kind of see pasta as well. See where it's kind of crimping in on itself at the ends there. That's a good sign. That's the sign the pasta's sort of nearly cooked, so it is. And the filling there, what happened is, because you added the parmesan, the parmesan starting to melt in the side of it. So when you go to bite in these, you'll have a lovely creamy sort of filling. So we're almost ready. 10 seconds or so, and we're good to go. So pasta is ready. This stage, I know because there's two signs. One is I can see it's floating. Usually when it's floating, that means there's air is escaping. That's pretty much the film telling you it's compressed, and obviously with the pasta. And then just the colour, see why we went from like a dark yellow to like a really light, sort of creamy colour. So out and into our sauce. And look at the size difference in them. So we started out with them, they were about sort of half the sort of width.
Yeah.
And again, at this stage, we can be a bit rougher. I was saying there about not sort of being as rough with it, but because it is fully cooked now. And again, just what we'll do is here we will just plate this up. So again, keep it very simple. You don't want to be stacking things here or anything like that. So you're just, and it's, see the wee sealer, that's the bottom. So serve it like that. You don't want to serve that up. So you don't want people to be able to see the sealer. You see how they resemble. You were saying about a Christmas cracker, Stephen.
Yeah, lovely.
They're like the perfect Christmas cracker there.
Are they?
And again, you know, these work all year round. They're not the type of thing that we associate with summer.
Well, I've learned something today myself, Johnny, because I've never done this, and
they're really quick as well.
What I'm going to do is now I'm going to get you some night to come over and do a masterclass for us in pasta.
Sounds good.
And you can do stuff that I don't do. Yeah, we all learn from each other, don't we?
This is it. So our lovely nuts are, and as Stephen caught them just at the right time. Actually, to be honest, I think they're absolutely perfect.
Okay.
Lovely, so that'll be really
got away with. We got away with it, Johnny.
And you'll see now there was a lot of butter to begin with, but that was to give us a wee bit more control with the sauce, obviously, and that sort of thing. But we're not going to serve all the butter, so we're going to be left. You're left with probably 3/4 of the extra butter. It's more just seen as a cooking sort of.
Yeah.
So that's
I say to people, it's nowhere to stop, Johnny. When you're cooking in it, it's nowhere to
And then
stop.
we'll go on. So Stephen's got a lovely fresh Pecorino Romano here.
And Johnny's
It's a
going
really
to
acidic sort of.
Johnny's going to say, Jeff, or stop. You're
No,
going mad
we're going
again.
to keep going there. That's great. I love it. Let it rain. 10 about there is perfect. So lovely coating on the butter, and then last touch is chef's kiss. We call this a wee bit of fresh black pepper. Black pepper and pasta are absolutely perfect together in all variations. So this is our dish: caramelli pasta with ricotta, pecorino, parmesan, pine nuts, and crispy sage and lemon butter.
Brilliant, Johnny. Thank you so much,
Cheers,
mate.
Stephen. Thank you.